In this series of lectures, we'll deal with environmental laws, climate change, afforestation, and eco-sensitive zones, and regarding the Hindu Kush Himalayas and the river basins falling under the Hindus Himalayas. So, in particularly the past lecture that will devote regarding environmental protection fund and the very utilization of those penalties collected under the Environmental Protection Act from those stakeholders such as the industries and factories either falling under public sector or private sector, even those multinational corporations engaged in industrial activities in India. So, in particularly the first thing that we'll discuss about the environmental protection fund and the very collection of those penalties, how they would be utilized. So, the Union government has notified detailed rules governing the utilization of the environmental protection fund created from penalties imposed under key environmental laws. So the Environmental Protection Fund has been created to ensure that penalties imposed for violation of environmental laws are channeled back into environmental restoration, pollution control, and sustainability related activities. The legal basis for the fund was laid under the Jan Biswas Act 2023, which decriminalized several minor environmental offenses while retaining monetary penalties to ensure regulatory compliance. The fund draws resources from penalties levied under major environmental legislation, including laws related to air pollution, water pollution act, which were enacted in respectively in 1981 and 1974, and the Environment Protection Act of 1986. The notified rules provide clarity on how this fund will be credited, administered, audited, and utilized for specific environmental purposes, addressing long-standing concern regarding the effective use of environmental penalties. So the very objective of the fund is of the environmental protection is to convert regulatory penalties into tangible environmental outcome. These rules seek to strengthen pollution prevention, control, and mitigation mechanisms, support remediation of environmentally contaminated sites, promote research and adoption of clean and green technologies, enhance the institutional capacity of environmental regulatory bodies. So, by doing so, the fund aligns with the broader principle of polluter pays principle, which is a part of the sustainable development as it was developed both in the Stockholm World Conference in 1972 and at the Rio de Janeiro Environmental Conference on Sustainable Development in 1992 in Brazil. ensuring that environmental damage leads to corrective and restorative action rather than remaining a purely punitive measures. So the fund allocated for environmental protection could be utilized specifically in 11 broad categories of activities for which the fund will be utilized, which include prevention, control, and mitigation of air, water, and soil pollution as one of the major objectives. The second most important objective for utilization is remediation and restoration of contaminated and degraded environmental sites. And the third most important objective for utilization of the fund is installation, operation, and maintenance of environmental monitoring equipment. And the fourth most important objective for utilization of the fund is development of laboratory infrastructure for environmental testing and compliance. So also regarding capacity building of regulatory institutions and technical personnel. Further, it would be utilized for research and innovation in clean technologies and sustainable practices. Further, it would be utilized for development of information technology-enabled systems for environmental monitoring. So these provisions aim to ensure that the fund utilization directly contributes to improving environmental quality and regulatory effectiveness rather than being diverted for unrelated purpose. So now the question is how it could be administered and managed. The very fund could be managed and administered under the rules which clearly outline the institutional framework for administering the Environmental Protection Fund. The Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change will be the primary authority for administering the fund, or it may notify any other competent body for the purpose to ensure decentralized yet coordinated implementation. These rules dedicated project management units will be created at both central and state levels. Penalties collected will be credited to the fund following a standardized procedure. The Central Pollution Control Board will develop and maintain an online portal for managing fund related processes. This digital interface will serve as a common platform for coordination among central ministries, state governments, pollution control boards, and other stakeholders. So now the question is regarding the very distribution of the environmental protection fund in between center and state. A significant feature of the rules is the transparent sharing mechanism between the center and states according to notified provisions. So 75% of the penalty amount collected will be transferred to the consolidated fund of the concerned states. 25% of the amount will be retained by the center for national level environmental initiatives. The arrangement recognizes that most environmental violations and remediation activities are so local in nature, while also enabling the center to fund large scale or cross cutting environmental projects. So now we will deal the very question relating to accountability and the audit mechanism of the Environmental Protection Fund. To strengthen transparency and public accountability, the rules mandate robust oversight mechanism. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India will audit the Environmental Protection Fund periodically. This audit requirement is crucial to prevent misuse, underutilization, or diversion of environmental penalty funds. Further, the online portal managed by the Central Pollution Control Board will act as a monitoring tool enabling real-time tracking of fund allocation, utilization, and the project outcomes. Together, these measures aim to enhance public trust in environmental governance. Now we'll discuss about the very significance relating to environmental governance in India. The notification of these rules mark an important shift in India's environmental regulatory approach. Instead of treating penalties merely as revenue, the framework institutionalizes their use for environmental improvement. It also complements the administration and discriminalization approach adopted under the Jan Biswas Act of 2023 by ensuring that monetary penalties have a corrective and restorative purpose. For India, which faces persistent challenges related to pollution, waste management, and ecological degradation, the Environmental Protection Fund can serve as a critical financial instrument to bridge regulatory gaps and support sustainable development goals. So, this is the very outcome of the creation of the Environmental Protection Fund, and that would be established under the very Jan Biswas Act of 2023. So those penalties collected from those stakeholders of all kinds of industries and factories established either under public sector or private sectors or in joint public and private sector, all would fall under the polluter pays principle, which is one of the most important principles of sustainable development developed in the Rio de Janeiro Sustainable Development Conference of Environment in 1992 in Brazil, and the very utilization of those funds in restoring and controlling pollution, either in case of air pollution, which regulates under the Prevention of Air Pollution Control of Pollution Act 1981 and the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974 and the Environment Protection Act of 1986. So, this is all about the perfect utilization of penalties collected from such industries and factories and which would constitute the Environmental Protection Fund as per the Jan Bishwas Act of 2023, which decriminalized most of the offenses relating to environmental pollution. So, in our next lecture, we will discuss about afforestation circular relating to its impact on biodiversity and the ecological concern regarding very utilization of the fund allocated for afforestation.